think this is official now. I love somebody else and I'm dating somebody else. So let's end it here. My goodness, God gracious. I've never had to console somebody like this over breakup. Hello guys and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's okay, it's the else the A you already know. If you don't know yet, Hansi, Honku, you are new to this channel, so please go down and hit the red subscribe button to become part of this very beautiful family. Don't forget to hit the notification bell as well, so that when I upload a new video, you get an alert to come and watch. So today we are going to be doing a story time. Magical situations. This happened. Why are you trying to talk as well? So this happened about 6 to 7 years ago. I think I was in my second year in university. I think so, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this is a story to recount. I don't know why I had forgotten about this story. I don't know. I watched a movie yesterday and then I just got this scenario back all afresh in my mind, like it just happened yesterday. So I decided to share this story time with you guys. All right, so while I was in high school, I met this girl. I'll not share a lot, I'm not going to share a lot more details about her because a few people who know me might know her. So yeah, in high school, I met this girl and we really clicked and we became very good friends. I think we were besties at that point in school. And yeah, I really loved her. She was my very good friend. We were in up 6 then, so there was this guy who was eyeing her back then in school, and he was cute and she kind of liked him as well. So she fell for the guy and she told me that, oh, she really likes this guy and he's been asking her out and she thinks that he's the right guy for her and she really wanted to give it a try. You know how secondary school love is now. If you've been to a day school, you know how this dating thing is in school. The guy will come and take you for lunch break, when you're going home, the guy will come and check on you and you guys will go home together, or if he lives around you, he'll see you off, put you on a bike and stuff like that. That's how it works. They were pretty much close. I really loved their relationship. I really loved their relationship because the guy was a friend. The guy was a friend to me and she was a friend. Even though I didn't really know the guy so well, but yeah, because of that scenario, I got to know him a little bit more and they were just beautiful people. Fast forward to when I was in level 2, I went down to Douala to do my internship. As you all know, second year in university, you have to do an internship. And my relatives in Douala lived very far from town. And my internship was at Bonanjo. The closest area that I could get to live in was, I'll not call the neighborhood as well, some people might know. So there was a close neighborhood and that my friend, let's call her Sandra. I'm not going to call her real name. So let's call my friend, my high school friend, Sandra. So Sandra lived in a closer neighborhood to Bonanjo. And so I told my dad and my mom that I couldn't live with any of my relatives because all of them lived around Mabanda, around Bonaberi, around, Ndobo, all of those very far away areas. And I could not migrate that much to work every day. So my parents accepted, and so we lived together. The friendship grew even more. The story is getting more interesting. So something happened, and I got closer to this guy's brother. I got closer to Sandra's boyfriend, the boyfriends in secondary school. I got closer to his brother and something was going on. And so I used to visit their house often. I discovered that Sandra's boyfriend, let's call him Brian. Yes, let's call him Brian. So I discovered that Sandra's boyfriend, Brian, was having another relationship. And I did not know how to tell Sandra. I didn't want to be a snitch. So Brian told me that he was going to work things out and he was going to find a way, to end either of the relationships or to make one of the parties disappear from the picture. Brian made me understand that he and Sandra were having a lot of problems and their relationship was not really moving well. But when I went back home, I spoke with Sandra. I used to ask her about Brian and she would tell me like everything is fine. They meet, very often. So I was a little bit confused. Initially, I did not like the girl that Brian was dating at that time. Let's call her Cynthia. Okay, so the other girl was Cynthia. Initially, I did not like Cynthia because I was like, oh my God, he's hurting my friend. How can this girl be doing this? But Cynthia did not know that there was another girl. As time went on, I became friends with Cynthia. Like, she was really a nice person. I mean, she had a heart of gold. She was a good person. You know how you try to ignore somebody's acts of kindness and gestures to bring friendship between you guys, and it just keeps coming. She was that kind of person. So I fell for it, and she became my friend as well. That is trapped. So I was trapped now between Sandra and Cynthia. How should I tell them both that they are dating this guy and he's cheating on both of them? So I tried to find out from Cynthia, like, when did you start dating this guy? And she told me that they started dating in the university. What happened was that Brian moved to the university before Sandra. Sandra had failed the advanced level, so she had to repeat. So Brian moved to the university and Sandra remained in high school. Apparently, when Brian went to the university, Brian started dating this other girl, Cynthia, and he did not really cut his relationship with Sandra. So he and Sandra were still kind of talking, and Sandra felt that they were still on good terms, but the other girl knew that Cynthia knew that she was in a full-time relationship. I was caught up, guys. I was really caught up in the middle, but I didn't know what to do. I'll be in the house with Sandra, and she's going to tell me that, and she's going to visit Brian. And maybe from work, I passed to see Brian's brother, and I saw Cynthia there. I don't know if you guys are understanding what I mean. Like, I left from work and passed to see my own guy at that time, and I saw Cynthia with Brian. And then as I come back home, Sandra is on her way to see Brian. I don't know what to do. I'm stuck at that point. I tried to tell Sandra not to go. I'm like, I just left from there and Brian was not at home. I think he has gone to Boya, or I think he has gone to somewhere. I tried to stop her. I have done that for a couple of times, and one day I left work, I passed and saw my own guy, and I was going back home and we bypassed on the road and Brian was with Cynthia. That means she did not call me to say she was going to see her guy. She had just left a note at home and her younger sisters to tell me that when I come back, they should tell me that she has gone to this place. So I got home and I was like, she's definitely going to know that I knew and I did not tell her. But how can I tell her? Guys, I don't know, if you were in my situation, what would you do? Because I did not know how to tell her, because Brian had categorically told me not to interfere, that he was going to make things right when he wants to make things right. I could not go and snitch, because if I told Sandra that this is what was happening, she should have bashed into the house and, said that I told her this. And Cynthia would be like, why did because I'd become friends with Cynthia. Cynthia would be like, so she did not tell me, she doesn't consider me her friend. I was really caught in a dilemma. So at that point, when I got home and I heard that she had gone down to that guy's house, I was like, oh my God, this is really going to be a bad situation. Okay, she went there. It was really, really late. I used to close work at 6 o'clock. So imagine I leave work at 6 o'clock. I pass there, and maybe I'm coming back home by 7:30, 8 o'clock when she's going. So she reached there, and it was raining on that day. So she reached there at about 8:30, and she was knocking and ringing the bell, and nobody was coming to open the door. Like, I think Brian had seen her from from, you know, there was a place that you could see somebody who was ringing the bell, and Brian did not open. Brian told the people in the house not to open for her, so she stayed there, called his phone, it was not ringing, tried to call, and then she called me back and asked me if I had come there. I had to say no, because I didn't even want her to find out that I was there on that day in case she met Cynthia. So she told me that okay, she's going to come back home, but it's raining, so she's just going to stay and wait. I felt so bad, guys. I really felt bad for her, and I felt like I was a traitor, because we were sleeping on the same bed, we were eating the same food. You know, she was my friend that was harboring me. I really felt bad at that time, but what was I supposed to do? I tried to raise red flags, like so many times. I tried to tell her things indirectly, like to make her end the relationship. When she just brings any slight problem that she has with Brian, I'm always like, you know, just let that guy be. It was a secondary school thing. You guys should let it go. Find a guy who likes you. Concentrate on a more serious relationship and let this guy be. This is what he is. Maybe he should come and say she heard that he's dating one girl, she heard that he's cheating, I'll be like, you know, these are a lot of red flags. Just let this guy go. Just take it. It was a secondary school thing, and just let him go. But she was so madly in love with this guy, and I tried my best to do indirect way of telling her to let go of the guy, but she would not just listen. And several times too, when I spoke to Cynthia, I was always like, do you guys always fight? And she said, yeah, we fight sometimes, but I've caught some messages in his phone from one girl. Apparently Brian had written Sandra's name differently in his phone, so she was giving me the other name. I didn't know it was Sandra, so she was saying that she had caught messages in Brian's phone from this girl. Apparently that was Sandra, but the name that she was using was different. So I didn't really know that. So in my mind I was like, so there's another girl. I really left it like that. Then I confronted Brian. I explained to him that I cannot deal with this again. And he told me that it's not his fault that I became close to Cynthia, and now I feel like I'm in the crossroads. So he told me that he's going to need time to make things right. I was like, what is difficult? Let go of one girl so that you're going to be peaceful with the other. You know, ask for forgiveness from the other. If she forgives you, fine. You guys will be okay. But I don't want to be caught up with this. He told me that he was going to look for a way, like, because I was really very furious. I was like, God, I sleep on the same bed with this girl, I eat with her, I take a bath with her, like we discuss in-depth things about ourselves. So I don't understand why you're not being open to her, to let her know the truth. Just take it that it was something from secondary school, and this is another girl who has come into your life, treated you better, and you love her more. Finish. He kept giving me complaints about Sandra, and bam, one day, Sandra left and went to the house, and she met someone that she knew, and they were discussing, and this person told her, apparently like a neighbor who knew what was happening, what was going on in that sector. Neighbor spoke to her. The neighbor now was, you know, a young girl too, so she spoke to her and told her that, you see Brian, he has this other girl who comes every day and who even sleeps here, but Brian never lets you sleep here. She even sleeps here, she's always here with him. I think that they are pretty close, and the news had gone out. Pam pam pam. Sandra ran back to the house. Like, hey God, that day I will never forget. Sandra ran back to the house and she was like, Imelda, I need us to talk like now. My heart, I already knew that something had happened. I was like, God, maybe this is the end of our friendship. She said, I want us to talk. I said, what is it about? She said, Brian has this other girl. Did you know about it? I was speechless for about 5 seconds, and then I answered. I was like, which girl? What's her name? And she said, I heard her name is Cynthia. Have you ever met her in their house? Have you ever spoken with her? What is she like? Is she your friend? Did you get to know her? Like, are you close with her? Because you have been going down there, you know, very often, so you should know her. I was like, I've been meeting her there, but I've not asked questions. I've been meeting her there, but I'm not. Guys, I could not just go to her and tell her, yes, so I met her. This is what has been happening. No, I don't know how to tell you. She's close to me. She's a nice person. You know, I could not just go back like that. I could not just put it like this. So I explained to her. So now she was really furious with me because she could not believe that we used to sleep on the same bed and I did this to her. Like, I knew that this guy was dating another girl. Both of them were dating one guy, but I did not tell her. Later on, Cynthia found out as well, and I was in that same dilemma. And Cynthia was like, so you knew, so you even stayed in the same house with these other girls, so you knew all this while. Why didn't you just tell me? Why did you let me be fooled by this guy? You know, both of them were really very furious about me. And separately, I took time out to talk to them, and I explained to them that I had gotten to know both of you guys, and you guys became very close to me. I didn't know how to say it because it was not my business. You are my friend, and I didn't want to. I had tried to raise red flags with both of you guys. I tried to raise red flags. I tried to make you know that this guy was not sincere with you. And I told Cynthia that I could not tell her anything because the way the guy was portraying it, he was making me understand that he loved her more and he was going to put Sandra aside and stay with her, Cynthia. So I could not tell her anything because his plan was to let go of the other relationship and concentrate on her. I could not tell her anything. And I told Sandra that I could not equally tell her anything because I tried to raise red flags and she was very defensive towards me. I felt like if I told her something that deep, she was just going to go and attack the boy. And you know, my own boyfriend had warned me as well and told me that I should stay away from anything that concerns his brother and his girlfriends. I should not even say anything about it because if I did, it was going to affect our own relationship. So I was scared for my relationship as well. So I just let it go. I said, okay, fine. I've tried to read because I used to talk to Sandra and I was like, please just end this relationship. You've told me a lot of things about this guy that I don't believe that he's still for you. I don't know why you're still in this relationship. Why are you still keeping the relationship? And I had told her several things. Sometimes I even told her that I am suspecting that this guy has another girlfriend. You know, I had told her things like, I saw this girl in their house and he looked like his girlfriend because the way they were doing, I think he's dating that girl. And she was like, no, he has a lot of female friends that come around often. You know, I tried to raise red flags, but she did not take to my advice. So what happened on that day, she went down to that guy's house, she met Cynthia, or she met this lady who told her everything, and she came back and she called the guy, and the guy said, yeah, I really was looking for a way to tell you, but you were so very into me. I've tried to tell you several times that I don't want this relationship, but every time you keep coming back, so I think this is official now. I love somebody else and I'm dating somebody else, so let's end it here. My goodness, God gracious. I've never had to console somebody like this over breakup. I've never had to, I mean, since today, I've never had to console somebody like this over a breakup. It was terrible. She cried and cried and cried an ocean. Like, she stayed for several days. And her mom was like, Emelda, what's going on? What's happening? Are you guys okay? Why is she not eating? Why is she all sad and all moody? Like, I just told her mom that we had a conversation, we had a quarrel, or this is not working. Her mom used to be very open-minded, you know. Her mom knew her boyfriend. So she asked me that, did they break up? I said yes, and she just laughed and went her way. God, I had to talk to her and talk to her and talk to her and talk to her. And after that, after she and Brian had broken up, she became so less trustworthy with guys. She did not want to trust any guy again. Like, she just used to just have relationships. Like, she was not serious. She wasn't serious again with any guy. I really tried to talk her out of that kind of character to, you know, find someone and love someone sincerely, because all men are not the same, but she did not quite listen. After some time, when I finished my internship, I went back to Bamenda to continue school. We kept contact, you know, but we were not still that close, and we lost contact after some time. And it's been a long time since I spoke to her or know her whereabouts anyways, but she was so close to my heart and she's someone that I really loved. About Cynthia, she continued her relationship with Brian though. She found out about Sandra, you know, they made up, explained and begged for forgiveness and all of that. She forgave him and they continued. One thing led to another. In future, we were close. I became very close to, instead of Sandra, I became a lot more closer to Cynthia. Even after university, we became very close and we lived very close. Up to today, we are still friends. Like, we still keep contact. And something happened along the line, and one thing led to another, and she and Brian broke up for good. it was equally a very difficult situation for her, because I had tried to talk her out of the relationship for the longest time ever, but she did not want to go out of it. And it was really very toxic for her, but she did not see it at that time. But later on, she found out that that was a very toxic relationship for her, and she decided to equally move on with her life, which was something that I really encouraged and liked. And both of them moved their way. Brian as well moved his way, became a better man, and yeah, right now everybody is living a very mature life. I think all three of them are living very mature lives, and that is water under the bridge. It is a story that has passed and something that was really funny, so I decided to share it with you guys. This is coming to just say that if you have a relationship, stop. If you have a relationship with a guy and you have seen a lot of red flags, people have told you a lot of bad things about that guy, like a lot of people try to advise you time without number about this very guy, it cannot just be that everybody hates him. There is something that you have not found out. Try to open your eyes and let that love slip a little bit. You try to open your eyes and find out what it is that people are saying about him that you are not seeing because you love him so much. Sometimes those red flags are things that people cannot tell you, obviously, because they don't want to be snitches, but they just want you to understand and let go. I know it's not easy, but sometimes when you see all of those red flags, look deep. You might just be in trouble and people are trying to tell you to run for your life. Run, but you're not listening because you're blinded by love. So guys, use your head sometimes, so don't let your emotions and your heart cloud everything for you. Yeah, so this was the story that I had for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed my story time. Like this video, comment down below if you've had an experience, like this before, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys for watching my video right up to the end, and God bless you.